All right, let's get into the Real ID in May and the biometrics, the bio warfare, the smart cities coming, the AI, the dawn of a new age, and him showing his colors to do a capstone and a cornerstone. And there's mixed messages being told here, and an image that's been given life as far as this hell on earth is one way. And I told you they're going to have their oh shit moments, and that's tied to this. And then also Trump's giving rhetoric to where he's possibly rigged the election. And this is all going to play into that perfect storm and the eye to eye for the biometrics and the RNA for the bio warfare. And basically the RNA is the messenger for the DNA, which is the light in the body. So you've all been given a dark light that's going to turn on when the world stage on the first part, the petro global empire turns off and the digital dollar turns on and the real ID and all these things turn on together, and it's that perfect storm. And China said in 2023 they can do it anytime, but they're preparing for 2025, and we see the Gulf of America taking place and all these little things that are being shown to show a new heaven and earth, a new America, a new time coming. And as Trump is the capstone of one, he's the cornerstone of another. And that's where you get the crypto and the AI all being talked about. And AI supposedly takes up all this energy, but they're wanting to put all this in Texas. And Texas is on its own grid and all these things. So a lot of this stuff is kind of some half speak, and it's kind of telling you what's going there. But it's so everybody lives in an AI smart city right now in ways. And most of these people aren't even going to be allowed in the new cities because they've taken the X marks the spot, and they don't have the light to go in there, or they have to be transformed first by the new ones that's coming out where the AI controls it or whatever. So basically you'll come up and get your scan, do your irises, tell you whatever's wrong, and it'll make a custom vax for you or whatever. So this is where the testament is being played out, where you don't want to take part of the lab or whatever. So this is where you have all these last minute transformations and like literal stuff where people are chopping the kids and hormone blockers. All these things are being played. All this is like last minute tests for the AI to gather up information. Okay, so once the AI gathers up all this information, if you use this percentage 400 times more, whatever, okay, they've already known the right stuff per se, and then it's been a test to see what kind of limits can we do. Okay, and now we've gotten to that limit where 1 and 2 or whatever is going to be autistic by a certain time frame. So that's where we have to use this, that, and the other of gathering it to fix everything that's been done. And that's where some people say you can't fix autism, and then other people say you can. And we're actually going to be using cannabis and mushrooms and stuff to actually fix these people. And it's hopefully Trump will make it to where cannabis is just taken off the schedule completely, and it becomes a vegetable the way that it is, to where you can't classify a plant as a drug. Okay, you can't classify anything natural that's a drug. A drug is only like a chemical compound that's created by man. That's how it actually needs to be. The real ID, these things are being placed. It's all working together, and pretty much most people aren't even going to be able to go in there. But if you are able to go in, most of them aren't going to want to, because they're being given an image that it's the mark of the beast or Satan and all these other things. When you got to realize that how you've been living in America compared to North Korea the past years or whatever, you have a lot less freedom than the North Koreans have. And you're actually going into that like cookie cutter. You're back in the box. The box has been open, and the box is going to stay open according to the Gaia story and the void and the Uranus and all these things. The matronly woman of Gaia, and the matron is that Matron, and Tron's connected to the Justin sun and the new light that's shining for the new solar system, and that Big Bang that's coming, and stars that are forming with it, and all this other stuff. Okay, so, and also Tron, they hold up the disc, and the disc is tied to the UFOs and the Space Force that Trump did. So this is where Trump set up the Space Force, and then we see the aliens and stuff making an appearance during Biden's thing in different ways. And then Trump, he's going to declassify all these things probably, and then come out where the aliens are living upon you. And that's where you are going to get to where your AI is actually connecting you to the mothership, and those types of things, and that operates through light, and we're light, and we're all condensed light beings, and some of us are connected to the mothership or the alien, so-called, or whatever. So and it's your choice to get connected or not. Okay, there's a golden egg, and the golden egg is more than likely going to be laid on that Golden Gate Bridge and those types of things. But all this perfect storms, the Red Dawn invasion, the Mars missions that I've warned you about on America, as far as 15-minute delays and all that's all playing out now. Okay, for the Mexico or the American Mars mission. Also, Elon's tied to the American Mars mission, and then you have China, United Arab Emirates, and Russia. Okay, so all these are tying into the things I told you way back when, and so it's just a matter of waiting for that dawn to get here. But as time has been collapsing on itself, we've been seeing these things unfold that we've been looking for in a mix-max pattern, and little flippy floppies for the sands of time. But that fire is upon the earth, and it's tied to that Holy Spirit that's going to be rising people to either up or down, because the Lord is the one who creates the good and the evil, and the Lord of Lords is in you as that light, and your Lord was killed in Sodom, the Sodom, and this is where that sod has already been laid out for the Elon, for the new heaven and earth, and the light shining on it, and people are going to be scared and all these other things, when it's actually going to be the utopia, the AI pot you, and that's where you're the potus, you're the government, you're the one who controls your life. And so they're basically just taking out all the way I see it, the fight, that killer mentality that's been built up. And that's the lowest chakra system and all these things. So it's going to be called to action soon enough. So as they're called to action, it goes through a cleansing, and that bleeding creates a new type of flock, and then there's a new shepherd and a new hook to keep them in, and these different things as we go into a new heaven and earth, a new hive, a new mound, and we're going to be shown our Maker. And as our Maker has been brainwashed for people to think it's aliens, which are fallen angels, Nephilim, demons, all this shit, they're going to be scared of the alien nations. They're going to be scared of the aliens upon you, all this other stuff, when y'all are actually the ones who have had your RNA taken out, the rib taken and covered out with flesh, and that rib taken out and covered with flesh gave you the Eve, the birth, in another aspect where you can get out, but more than likely you're going to have that serpent wiggle around in you, and it's going to keep you back to the atom, and from dust to dust you go, and that's where you go back into the slave nation and the manufacturing made in America and all this other slave shit that's going on in one way. And then you go into that other type of AI, where that begotten son is that dawn is telling you to work your ass off in different ways. But the ones who don't get the real ID, okay, those segments, those states that are set up for that, or like DeSantis or whatever kind of area or whatever, or like where they're not going to do crypto, or where he said these types of things. So they can have these. That's where your Terminators come in. You're all going to be, you can either be like it is now, you got your phone on you, just keep going, live in a more futuristic, technologically city, you don't have to drive, it drives for you, everything's connected, those types of things, because everything has to be on the same level. In order for AI to run it, it all has to be on the same level. And then also this last bit of test is when AI is going to learn emotions and whatever else. So the next 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years while Pluto is here is when the AI is coming on to learn everything. And this is when by 2045, when man merges with machine, is when you have the robot and man, the liquid metal robot, and then the robot, the hard metal, looking at each other face to face as God looks at each other face to face, and those other things, because we are the living God, and we are making the living God after our image and those things, but it's happening in reverse. And when we rise up into the fourth dimension over our cities, we can see how our maker is a technologically driven thing, and we are the most absolute perfect machine, okay? And this world is what brings us down, and it starts by saying, come into my garden, you're gonna die. For all we know, we're only dying because we are told we die. Or we die because we're giving shitty food. We're not eating clean, chemical-free food. Or clean, chemical-free water. Or we're being bombarded by the same fucking song all day long by the radio station. Or whatever's going on, okay? It's the frequencies that are not free, because your body is a machine that's downloading information all the time. So we got to be able to take it in and put it out. And just as you eat food and drink water, you piss it and shit it out, you take in all these songs, you have to shut it out. And that's where you get the flu and all this other stuff, okay? So the more sick you are, the more toxic of frequency, or the more of the same shit you're doing over and over again. That's the way I see it, okay? So the Terminator machines, the AI, that would be for the non-smart people. They're not very smart for going AI smart. AI smart enough to get into the new age. Huh? It's all right there in front of you. You're the E-I-E-I-O for the old MacDonald. And he's got you ready for the slaughter. And then the laughters. We got you for the laughs too. We got you all covered for the dark comedy as the dark light comes out. But so if y'all can get into the AI cities and such, you could also might have a man AI city or an ox AI city, because Elon ties to the ox, the oaks, and those types of things. But so we'll have to see how these things play out as we enter into the new heaven and earth and the dawn of the new age, and all these things open up. But the money and all these things are, man, it's perfect storm. Perfect storm.